I could see Blake on the video, and he is into it. Man, it's Friday morning, 6 a.m., Mile High City, August 22nd, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710. KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. We're going to be joined by Mike Boyle here in just a little bit, coming off the wildly successful Taste of Douglas County, dude.
Yeah, wow.
Holy cow, there's so many people
y'all
there.
showed out. Wow, that was cool. That was neat. There were so many people. So many people there.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Although, I do have to say that there was one point when I was not happy. There were so many people there. Well, actually, 2 points. That would be in the line for the mead and in the line for the gelato.
Yeah,
At that point, I'm like, can you just leave?
I actually left the Taste of Douglas County hungry, which I thought was kind of funny. Because there were so many people, and you and I did not feel comfortable during the commercials and during the breaks to cut in front of everybody to grab food.
No, not at all.
So we just went, you know what? We'll just let you eat.
Yeah, the thing is that Jeff and I are not those guys who are like, do you know who I am? Let me have it first. No. In fact, we would go around to the side and we'd talk to the people that are serving, but the thing we kept telling them is keep working, keep working. No, you got a line in front of you. I just got to talk to you about something. So we had them, basically multitask. I was about to leave last night, and I went, I'm going to go get the tamales again. Go over there, and they were so good. There were so many things that were delicious. Yeah, I had a couple little snacks before I left, just because, and maybe a dilly bar, maybe a dilly bar.
It was delicious. We're going to talk with Mike Boyle coming up here about what he thought. I was with the folks that own Dickey's, 14 different Dickey's barbecue restaurants here in Colorado, and there were. He was mentioning to me that they ran out of food. First time ever.
Yeah.
They ran out of food because there were so many people. Joan from Lakewood texting in. By the way, people were hoping to see Joan. We had Joan fans. Remember that?
Yes, we did. We had Joan fans.
Joan fans showing up going, is Joan here?
Is Joan here? Where's Joan? I like hearing Joan in the air. It was great. And referring to the conversations we had in the morning. It was great. Yeah. It was super cool.
And Joan wants to hear the bumper music.
Hey, all right.
That we put together for today. Because Bill made me listen to ska music, which is like nails on a chalkboard for me. By the end of last week's Friday show, I was so out of energy. I couldn't get out of here fast enough.
I know you couldn't.
It's the trumpets and the guitar riffs that are so hard, and it just feels like someone going.
See, here's the thing is, this is what I find fascinating, and I didn't really appreciate it, and I talked about it with you earlier this week, until afterwards, that there was this emotional response. You had to ska music, but you don't necessarily have the same emotional connection to other music and or songs. And I just found that really interesting that there was
what I hate.
Yeah, this really, really direct emotional connection to the negative. But there wasn't, on the other side, that yin to the yang of an emotional connection to the positive side. That I just found incredibly interesting, that it was so unbalanced to see. But we've got a whole series of Jeff music today that we're going to be playing that I'm really excited about, too. So this is going to be cool. This is neat.
Yeah.
I figured
I'll be honest, Bill, I'm doing this mostly for Joan.
Hey, excellent, good.
I was like,
love you, Joan.
I don't really know music, but then Joan keeps going, I'm really looking forward to the music that connects with Jeff. And I'm like, all right, Joan.
High five, Joan.
Because of you, we'll do it today.
Joan, so you're the reason I love this.
We've got a lot to get to. We're going to be joined by Representative Jeff Crank during the 7 o'clock hour. We'll also be getting some updates on what's happening down at the Colorado State Capitol. D.C. crime updates as well. Donald Trump out with the men and women in law enforcement in Washington, D.C. last night. And what do the statistics show? We'll get into that. We're going to be joined by Mike McCoy from Mountain States Legal Foundation as well to talk a ruling with regards to waiting periods that came out of the 10th Circuit that could directly affect Colorado on your firearm purchases. So, big case coming up from the good folks at Mountain States Legal Foundation. But now is time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Hey, good morning. TGIF 65, mostly clear in Denver. Expecting a high of only 84 today. What? This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, the state park ranger, who we all thought was attacked by another man, has been arrested after allegedly stabbing himself and then reporting it as an attack by a stranger. Remember when you said
wild.
You were very curious about this.
Well,
very suspicious.
I clearly got it wrong because I was thinking that some dude that was crazy that should have been locked up, ran out of the woods and stabbed somebody and ran back in, and we were going to find out that he fit this pattern of crazy people being let out by DAs. Didn't see this one coming.
Neither did I.
Stabs himself.
Man, I mean, pray for this guy. 26-year-old Callum Haskett said he was stabbed, and investigators discovered inconsistencies in his statement. And Jefferson County Sheriff's Office arrested Haskett Thursday on multiple charges, man.
So he has deleted all of his social media, but I got screenshots. So if you go to x.com/Jeff Hunt, you can learn more about this guy. But not a lot going there that would give you a sense that this guy was crazy. He was very proud to be an EMT, to be trained. He went to Regis. He went to CU. I mean, not a lot there to draw from that goes, this guy clearly has mental health issues.
Yeah.
So
man.
this is interesting.
Thankfully, everyone's safe. You hate to see all the people who rushed out to the scene thinking that it was someone on the run. We just hope this guy is okay and turns his life around. But man, that's horrible when you think about all the professionals searching for someone. But yeah, obviously he's got some issues. Officials say exposure to toxic gas may have killed 6 people at a dairy in Weld County earlier this week. The county's deputy chief coroner said Thursday that the deaths are being investigated as possible gas exposure in a confined space, and that's a sad story also in Keensburg. And reportedly, one of the victims was a high school student at Highland High School, and it's just rough, man.
From my reading of the news, that it may have to do with ventilation of gases around manure that would have been collected, and then a kind of a break in that pipe that overwhelmed them.
Exactly.
So,
workplace dangers, man. It's just you have to cross all your T's and dot all your I's constantly in facilities like that. Mayor Johnston wants his deputy mayor, Al Gardner, to become the next director of public safety in Denver. Gardner has been deputy mayor since the beginning of this year and has been head of the Department of General Services since November of 23. He'd replace Armando Saldate III, who left in July, you remember, to lead the CBI. Gardner's nomination must be approved by the Denver City Council.
In D.C., one of the things we're going to be redoing is your parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world.
DJD praising law enforcement in D.C. and talking about the new grass that D.C. is going to receive in this project. 47 met with officers Thursday, thanking them for cooperating with the federal takeover of the city's police as part of his crackdown on crime. He also handed out burgers and pizza to those who are patrolling the streets of the nation's capital. And he brings up some great points here about the grass.
And we're going to be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy, just like Augusta. It'll look like Augusta. It'll look like, more importantly, Trump National Golf Club. That's even better. But we're going to have all brand new, beautiful grass. Like everything else, grass has a life. Do you know that? Grass has a life. We have a life, and grass has a life.
I love it. That is huge,
I had not
man.
heard that. That is the funniest
It is.
That is
but
real?
But
That
it's
is-
true. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He was talking to all of them. They gathered around. They're listening to him. And I see, that's what I cannot stand when I see, these beautiful parks
Yes.
in Denver and in the area, when you see this dirt and crap and trash
Yes.
and litter. I mean, man, those parks used to be so beautiful, man, with the grass healthy.
And
that's
every
important.
dad takes incredible pride in their lawns too.
Yes.
Right?
yeah.
Like tomorrow, that's what we're working on. I'm putting
That's
fertilizer
right.
out there on the grass. We're
Exactly.
cutting them, doing some
Absolutely.
edging, making
Edging
it
it.
all. And then these parks, this is so smart. He is, and I said this when he took over DC 10 days ago, he is setting up what could be a Republican return to city leadership.
Yeah. I
By
agree.
being-
That's true. Absolutely.
I mean, no, we couldn't do it anywhere else because voters keep going Democrats, 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 and the cities just get worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
And we had this unique shot where constitutionally we can take over a major city and then just show the whole rest of the country what Republican leadership looks like. And you get crime that's down, carjackings that are down, weapons getting taken off the streets, and then grass comes back. I love it.
Yeah, about that thing in the grass and the lawn.
Of course, here it comes.
I know. You're saying that every father takes pride in the grass and the lawn.
Yes,
Yeah, not this guy.
I thought you do. I
he
thought
works.
you.
No.
He's always working. He doesn't have
No.
a chance.
No, here's the thing. I love the fact that you brought this up. This is really funny. And,
Yeah.
again, there are things that just pop up every once in a while here on the Jeff and Bill show that just crystallize the differences between Jeff and I here. And this is one of them that is completely and totally innocuous and stupid, but it is. I don't care. No. Okay, it doesn't mean that I ignore the lawn. I go out there and I pull the weeds, and yes, we water. I don't care. I'm not doing the edger. That's stupid.
Come
I'm not bringing the
on.
weed whacker out all the time.
I have three
Get
of them.
rid of it.
I have 3 edgers.
Which is the best?
I've got the string edger. I've
my
got this metal one that goes along, and then I've got a
Yeah.
hand one that goes down too.
Oh,
and
my
dude, I have
Way
the
too
Sunday
much.
subscription. I get a monthly order of fertilizer we spray all over.
No.
Oh,
Heck
man.
yeah,
Way
dude!
too
My
much.
lawn is
No.
looking great. I
No.
take so much pride in that.
My lawn, nah. I'm happy.
That
I'm
is
happy.
awesome.
There's one part because of where it sits in the summer that gets almost continuous sun, just based on angle of the house.
Just
where,
bakes, huh?
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And the fact that I have at least maintained that to be a shade of green is an enormous win for me. That's it. I got no problem. And this is part of it. Is this? Growing up, my dad had a real, almost manual labor approach to the lawn. It was, okay, I was not allowed as teenage Billy to have any sort of a powered mower. It was a push mower. It was push until I got out of my house and got to buy my own mower. This is the first time I ever used a power mower.
Really?
Yeah, never. Was not
Wow.
allowed in the house. But my dad also didn't like the automatic sprinklers, didn't like the edger, and he was like, okay, cut the grass, we'll maintain the grass. He's like, but we live in a prairie. He's like, I'm not trying to make this look like a golf course. He goes, if I want to look like a golf course, I'll go to the golf course. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend the
True.
effort here.
That water
Yeah,
bill.
and so I was talking to him, and he was always like, we live in a prairie. I'm like, I'm
And
not
in the
gonna
Great
go.
American Desert also.
Yes, exactly. So yet again, we have found another
Yeah.
thing where Jeff and I diverge.
Right.
I am never going to appear on the front
That's
of
funny.
Home and Garden magazine. Never.
Jeff, I love mowing my grass at an angle. Like, I want it to look like an outfield of
Oh,
a
yeah?
baseball park, of a ballpark.
Yeah, yeah.
And so growing up, we always loved doing that. But later in life, long time ago when I was in Dallas, the grounds crew chief for the Rangers, he was awesome, man. And the outfield was incredible. The infield was incredible, as they are in Major League Baseball. And I went to his house. I went to his house to do an interview. It was so funny. And his was the worst lawn
Yes.
in the neighborhood. So Billy,
love that.
you have a friend. I mean, he was working all the time, just like Billy. You know.
I love the part that it's like he maintains the grass. He comes home. He's like, "Why do I want to do
screw
what
it.
I'm doing at work? Yeah, to come home. There's no way. It's like chefs come home and they're like, I'm not cooking dinner. There's no way I'm cooking dinner.
Exactly. They throw in a TV dinner.
Exactly. Yes. Same thing. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, that's exactly
So
it.
true.
And yeah, my lawn
man.
sucks.
Joan, by the way, is texting, and my husband has a great lawn, and he gets a little frisky after lawn work.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
interesting.
fantastic.
Joan, I hear you.
So in other words, when that when the mood's striking and in the Joan of Lakewood house, she's like, the grass looks a little long out there. Maybe you should get out there and cut it, darling.
Right.
And again, I understand my deficiencies, and yes, I am sorry that my lawn looks like crap. I apologize. It is green. It doesn't look like it's just gone to weed, but
That is
yeah,
awesome.
I suck at it. I don't care.
I love it.
Yes,
I love
apologies
it.
to the neighbors.
All right. Police investigating after being forced to remove 66 cats from an apartment in Thornton. After initial visit, the officers returned Wednesday to remove the cats. They also found one dead kitten inside. The owner has been issued a summons, and a hearing will be held in the municipal court. All right, superstar Caitlin Clark, she's been out for 5 weeks. It's really mysterious here, almost 6 weeks with a leg injury. They don't let her talk to the media. She loves talking to the media. Clark is all the WNBA has. Yet Jason Whitlock has a theory. The league has an agenda. They don't care about making money. And they're beating her down mentally and don't like that she stands for a lot of traditional values. Interesting.
About this league and where American society is going in terms of identity and what's the priority and what's really, really important. And they've set up sexual identity as the most important thing. And so you'll be sitting there going, well, hold on. The WNBA, they can make money with Caitlin Clark. Why are they doing this? They only want to make money one way. The face of the league has to be a lesbian or a black woman who is sexually fluid.
Interesting. He brings up some very valid points. It's like they're hazing her. They're subsidized by the NBA. A lot of the players are entitled, and they don't appreciate Clark, but the fans do. We'll see what happens. That is a very interesting story going on right now. All right, college football kicks off tomorrow. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. 5 games this weekend, including Kansas State and, Iowa State in Dublin. Rockies at the Pirates today. First pitch, 4:40. They lost to the Dodgers Thursday. 63 in Parker, 64 in Lakewood, 65 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
It's going to be another hot day, but starting tomorrow and gaining momentum through the weekend will be a cooling trend and an increased chance of shower and thunderstorm activity. Highs today, mid to upper 90s.
This is Maggie's song.
Yeah. See, and I'm doing this randomly, so I don't know how to stack these. I've got an idea what to do with Hillebrand coming up, so I'm flying blind on this one, my friend. So Maggie's song, talk to me about this one.
This is Chris Stapleton, who, by the way, is at Ball Arena tonight.
Yeah.
This
That's also
is,
why I led with it, is because you'd said you're going tonight, so I wanted to lead with this for you.
So this is a song about a dog that joins his family. They find abandoned in a shopping cart and becomes an important part of the family, and then it travels through the dog's life and ends with the dog passing away, but how important the dog became to the kids.
Oh, how cool. Okay.
And then why this is so important to us is it reminds me of the dog we had, River.
Okay.
So River was with us until last year.
Oh, my gosh.
13 years.
Oh, if I knew this, I don't know if I'd start with this with my friend.
Yeah,
Ouch,
and
so
then,
sorry.
and then
dude.
Passed away in a similar way described in this. But we used to just love to watch River run.
Oh, wow.
And so this song I love because it just reminds me of our kids the family dog.
That's got to be cool.
All that stuff.
What I enjoy about this is I can imagine the very first time you listened to this and heard it, and then it went boom. And
I was like,
ya.
dude, this is River.
That's why
it's
music
love.
is special.
So I love Maggie's Song by Chris Stapleton.
That is so cool.
By the way,
Thank you,
Chris,
man.
if you're listening, I hope you are, because you're playing at Ball Arena tonight. Of course, you're going to listen to the Jeff and Bill Show.
Of course.
Play the song. Too.
Yes, play
Wife
this one.
and I would love it.
This is cool.
So,
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Last night was phenomenal. Bro, this thing was packed to the brim. And I've only been to 2.
Yeah.
But this one was so full of energy and excitement. And the guy who put it all together now joining us, Mike Boyle, congratulations on a fantastically successful Taste of Douglas County.
Yes, here.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. It takes a lot of, success has many fathers. Failure's an orphan. But the success was due to you folks being there. I think the hot weather drove people inside. The food was absolutely amazing. The band did a wonderful job. A Bit Hazy is the name of the band. And, a couple other people came up to me and said, the View House said, we're going to start booking them. It's nice when a plan comes together, guys. You know that.
Yes.
That's exactly right. And you seemed very busy. I've hosted big events, thousands of people. I know the demands that go on the ringmaster, so to speak. But give us your perspective on yesterday and your chance to connect with people. You were quite popular. Everybody excited to see you.
Well, I think it's just a great opportunity for people to get that was the whole intent of the thing when I started it. And it might have started off as more of a food festival, Jeff, but it seems to have morphed into almost this social street fair where people can come inexpensively. They don't have to pay for parking. Their ticket includes food and beverages. Pepsi did a great job. Rock Yard Brewery did a great job. Honeybrook Meadery. So I think that it's an opportunity for people to just for 3 hours forget all of the noise that's out there. And I think that's why it comes together so well. I really can't thank you guys enough for coming out there. People love seeing you. Nice of Peter Boyles to get on his motorcycle and come on down and bring some of his buddies. But it was really just truly a fun evening. The food, when I think of Dan Skay and Adam Freesome from Castle Rock Adventist Hospital, Manor Restaurant, they put out great food. Shake Shack did a wonderful job. And so, and it's a difficult, Bill, the restaurant business, you know catering. It's difficult when you're off site to know exactly what to bring and how much to bring of it. And I would say generally overall, the restaurants did a great job with that.
Yeah, they did. And the amount of different restaurants was absolutely incredible. And what they brought to highlight, of course, we love the Gelato and Company. The View House was there, and they were debuting portions of their new menu. Of course, they had the classic hot wings, or the chicken and waffles, their Nashville hot chicken and waffles. They had the shrimp and salmon pasta. But they debuted the Brussels sprouts, their pork belly bites, tuna crispy rolls. Those were amazing. It was incredible. We talked to Playa Bowl. We hung out with them for, of course, our friends at Granelli's Airplane Restaurant brought their spicy Asian wings that I went back to go get more of those several times. Crave Real Burgers did their 100% Colorado beef burgers. Now, here's the thing is they were cutting it so you were getting a quarter burger every time you rolled through that line. Plus, on the side was their candied bacon. Candied bacon. Yeah. 2 words that have taken way too long to put together. I'm just saying. It was fantastic.
Well, and one of the things that I've never once asked any restaurant in 23 years, what are you bringing? What are you serving? I figure that when you get 30 places together, there'll be enough variety. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that the restaurants, with the publicity they get on the air, with the print advertising they get, they want to hit you with their best shot. And I don't know if you guys noticed that just about every booth is manned by an owner, a general manager, somebody on the management staff, because they want to not just get the food out to you, but they want to market their establishment as well, and so that's all important.
Oh, yeah. I've done enough of these street fairs. Early on in my employment career, that was something that I did. I was employed to sit behind those booths and hawk the food for you because I was decent at it. And I could see the fairs and the events that were more important based on whether or not the manager showed up or the owner. And I got to pay attention. I learned that early on, that if they let you run alone, okay, that's one level of, involvement as far as the street fair. But if they show up and they want to be there, you're expected to take things to another level, and they want to make sure that everything is buttoned up. Like Courtyard Social last night, they brought in wild-caught Blue Point oysters. They were fresh. They flew them in that morning. The shipping label was still on the freaking box that was on the table. They were just opening the box and then serving the oysters fresh. That blew my mind. It was incredible last night.
Well, Gary Mantelli, the owner, he owns West down at 16th Street and in Glenarm downtown. He owns the Courtyard Social in Castro. He's a true restaurant pro. He was the VP of operations for Red Robin. He became the CEO of the Tavern Group and went off on his own. But this is the quality of people that were at that event. And you brought up something interesting, Bill, probably inadvertently, but you brought it up.
That's how it normally happens.
Anyway, when people say, maybe a new restaurant will say, what about, I say, there are no chairs at my event because we've all gone to a trade show, an exhibit where somebody's sitting behind their desk, playing with their phone, sitting behind their booth, and then they have to stand up to come up to talk to you. Nope, I want everybody. It may sound a little tyrannical, but I just think that represents your product very well.
Well, here's the thing. There is a theory inside of those event spaces where if you put up the tent and then you put up a chair and a table in front of you, it's actually called castle building. And it is a psychological barrier for someone to approach your castle and ask you for anything. When you take away the chair and have someone standing and moving around, it takes away part of that barrier. So what you're doing is absolutely going to increase engagement for both the individuals that are attending the fair, but also for the restaurant. It is a win-win because you're breaking down a psychological barrier. If you sit behind that table and you look disinterested or you look like I have to make an effort to interact with you, the audience doesn't want to assault your castle. They'll pass by because it's easier. Yeah.
That's Mike.
I've never heard that term, castle building, but you know what? It is so. How many times when you walk into a restaurant, if you walk into a restaurant and the host or hostess is there and says, "Hello, sir, how are you tonight? Party of two. Would you like to have some dinner with us tonight?" But if you walk in and the hostess is sitting behind her little, whatever you call that,
little podium,
stand, on a stool, then they have to stand up to talk to you. I like that term, castle building. I learned something listening to this show.
That's Mike Boyle. You can hear him on Saturdays, 3 to 5, Sundays, 10 to noon here on 710 KNUS. He's the host of the Taste of Douglas County. He put it all together. It's really fantastic. The master of ceremony for that wonderful event. Now,
don't
Mike,
miss it next year. Do not miss out next year.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, this thing is becoming really, really successful. Speaking of restaurants, Mike Boyle, there is a lot of news about one particular restaurant right now.
Controversy. You bet.
The restaurant Cracker Barrel has pulled the man leaning on a barrel image, a familiar symbol since 1977, and replaced it with a sleek text-only design that nods to the barrel shape while trying to feel more modern. It's all part of a sweeping All the More campaign that includes a $700 million overhaul of restaurant interiors, menus, signage, and entire store aesthetics. But the reaction, not good. People saying that it's sterile, soulless, even woke. Donald Trump Jr. exclaimed, "WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel?" Critics are warning that this could be Cracker Barrel's Bud Light moment, and some of the stocks taking a heading down yesterday. Mike, 10%. What do you think of this? What did Cracker Barrel mess this one up?
Yeah, you know, Jeff, I think that your name I think that your logo, I think that should say something, okay? So, in other words, you are the Jeff and Bill show on News Talk 710 KNUS. That tells people who it is and where to find you. I had Boyle's Bar and Grill. We were a bar, very active bar. We served our steaks cooked on a grill. And then I had a little moniker that said Glendale's Casual Neighborhood Gathering Place. That told what it is. And I looked at this new logo of Cracker Barrel, and to me, it is so esoteric that it means nothing. If you were driving down the road 80 miles an hour and you saw one of those signs that said next exit McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, and they had the Cracker Barrel logo, I don't think it would say anything to you. The old logo, you got the guy sitting, leaning on a barrel. But what I liked about the old logo was underneath it says Old Country Store. So that says something to people. And if you want to change the moniker, if you want to tweak it, how about an American country store or an old country store serving great American food? So I understand tweaking it, but this was taking a complete wrecking ball to the Cracker Barrel name to me. That's what bothered me about it. You know, if they want to put money into renovation, the Cracker Barrel, America eats steak, seafood, prime rib, chicken. That's what I served. I sold 30 years ago. If I opened tomorrow, I'd serve steak, seafood, prime rib, chicken. Cracker Barrel serves American food. You may not get the pinky in the air person that wants a cosmopolitan at 29 years old into your place immediately, but Cracker Barrel is a multi-generational place that people knew that they can count on. We've got a Cracker Barrel in Black Eyed Pea. You walk in and you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get American cuisine, big portions, fair prices. I think that that's where Cracker Barrel is making the mistake, Jeff. That's just my opinion.
Bill, what do you think? You're in the restaurant industry.
Yeah, and also advertising and marketing worked on some of these things. You worked with Pepsi, I worked with Chick-fil-A on a number of different campaigns previously in my life, and Mike is 110% right. They've taken the classic logo and they have basically tried to just run it through the meat grinder and see what comes out on the other end because it doesn't say anything. I have a feeling this is something that went through a series of focus groups with a bunch of pointy-head intellectuals, and they said, the kids don't like it. The kids don't identify with this. I don't care because none of us as kids, we were all introduced to it by our parents and our grandparents. So getting the kids to walk in, that's not your business model per se. It's about generations. And Mike is right that by breaking the classic logo, they're breaking that tradition of generations. And I really, really want to dial into what he talked about, the moniker and basically their marketing slogan. He's 110% right. That's where Cracker Barrel could have made a pivot that would have really helped their marketing. Think about when Mike was talking about riding down that highway and you see the sign and you see those logos next to you. Now, there's a reason why, McDonald's has spent so much time there, so you already know what it says. They don't need that moniker below it. Cracker Barrel, not as much. You do need that moniker, but imagine something of like America's favorite neighborhood restaurant or classic American flavors. Something like that would tell you what you're getting. And that's where they missed this. That they spent so much time wanting to appeal to the kids, and then they kept it yellow and brown. Again, not going to appeal to the kids.
Now, Mike Boyle, host of the restaurant show. Go ahead.
And that lady that is the CEO, I mean, she used to be the president of Taco Bell. She was high up in the Starbucks Corporation. But, you know what Bill said, focus group. I'm a believer that a moose is just a horse that's been designed by a committee. And
yes.
So consequence, and when you have that type of input, it becomes a consensus. And I think that they really missed the boat here. Now, I'm not going to get into, I'm just not somebody that is into boycotts. I'm just not somebody that sees woke and everything. But I really just think that they didn't call me, and they probably won't. But I think they missed I think they missed the boat on this one.
That's Mike Boyle. You can hear him on Saturdays 3 to 5, Sundays 10 to noon here on 710 KNUS. If you were the CEO and you made this mistake, Mike Boyle, what would you do to backtrack on it? Could Julie Massino save her job?
I think you got to own it. You know, I think at some point you have to say, boy, this wasn't maybe the right choice. We're rethinking the logo. Well, you know what? Or if you're getting run out of town, lead a parade. I'd probably say, you know, this was just a temporary logo while we work on the redesign of our new logo. You could say something like that, but I just think that you got to own it.
I'll be honest, I've never been in a Cracker Barrel. I've never even been inside one.
What?
So this is one.
You know what, Jeff? I'll tell you something. They actually do a nice job.
They do.
And knowing you and your lovely wife, Nicole, and your kids, you'd walk in, you'd be the youngest person in there.
Yes.
But, you know, but that's okay, because the 50s something, the 60s something, they have money to go out and eat, and they want value. Every focus group, you talked about focus group, Bill, every focus group that's ever been done on any product wants value. They want what they think they are paying for. And you get that at a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, and the flavors are wonderful. They're always clean. Service is on point. The food is delivered. It's always done correctly. And they are really, really good at the service end. Their service staff is really, really well trained. So the experience is top notch. Yeah, their branding needs help. And they've struggled on that for a while. If I was the CEO, I would do what Mike talked about, and I would look at the moniker. I would hold on to that logo and own it, but I would debut a new moniker underneath it to try to soften the blow. And that would be my last Hail Mary to try to save my job. Before, as Mike said, I'd just lead that parade out of town.
Someone mentioned that with the new Cracker Barrel logo, they got rid of the cracker and the barrel.
Yes. I love that.
That's
nice,
Adam. Adam, the
High
producer,
five.
did that.
High five on that one.
Speaking of...
And going back to my original comment, that your logo, your name, ought to say what you do. And if you take away the cracker and you take away the barrel, I'm not sure what you have.
Right.
So
well,
true.
Speaking of value, great line from Joan, who just texted in. She said, Mike, I think part of the reason the Taste of Douglas County is so popular is because it's such a great deal. And people are wanting deals with their food these days. You delivered 30-plus restaurants for $10.
Mm-hmm. And I have no plans to change it. I don't see any reason. It ain't broke, we ain't fixing it. And so, but I think that Joan's exactly right, and that goes back to it gives you value. When you can put that many people in that beautiful Douglas County Event Center facility and not have one complaint, that tells you something. That tells you that you're giving people what they'd like.
Mike, I ran into the owner of 14 Dickey's barbecue restaurants. He told me in all the years he's done this, he's never run out of food. And he ran out of food yesterday because it was so popular. So congratulations on a wildly successful Taste of Douglas County. You can hear Mike Boyle Saturdays 3 to 5, Sundays 10 to noon here on 710 KNUS. Mike, I know it was a long day for you yesterday. Thank you for getting up early with us this morning.
Yes, thank you so much.
And thank you for what you did to help promote it. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, my friend. All right, we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader with big full bellies after last night. We are 710 KNUS.
This is the Friday afternoon weekend music I love.
Yeah, this is one. I know the song, some of it, but not. I couldn't find the one you were looking for. This is Garth's version.
Dude, I've literally walked around on beaches going, "Two pina coladas."
Really? I love this.
Oh, yeah. Love this.
Now, you wanted the Buffett version. Couldn't find that one for you, and I apologize.
It's all right.
So, talk about this. Emotionally, how do you connect to this song? Where did you hear it first?
Vacation music.
This is your vacation music. I like this.
There's nothing complicated about this.
Excellent, excellent.
I just like to walk on a beach with 2 pina coladas in my hand.
We all have goals.
Me 2 pina.
I love the fact you're singing. This makes me happy.
We were down, oh gosh, where were
yeah.
Where were we? I'm trying to remember. We were some Jamaican.
It's hazed out.
Caribbean. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm walking around with Nicole going.
Oh, that's great.
2 pina coladas.
Oh, this is wonderful.
All right.
Yeah. Speaking of pina coladas.
So, yeah, well, not at IHOP.
No,
but
not there.
If you want to come hang out with us, with Bill and I had a fantastic, 2 plus hours talking with people.
Cool.
It was remarkable. We had couples that would come up to us, go, "I'm the Republican," and then the wife would go, "I'm the Democrat." And we listened to the Jeff and Bill show, and it was so fun yesterday. And Bill and I are going to be at the IHOP off of I-25 Colorado Boulevard this Wednesday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mike Boyle is going to be coming by. It'll be a great event to come hang out with us this upcoming Wednesday. That's the 27th.
Yeah, don't miss it.
6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And we're doing the 710 KNUS breakfast special, just like usual. So, you know, if you've joined us before, this is their big breakfast. This is the pancake, sausage, hash browns. You know, they do the works. But you're getting it for $7.10. Better than any other breakfast value you are going to find in town. Even better than those, sandwich and sub and even those coffee shops in the morning. They cost you like $7 for a muffin. We're going to do you better than that.
Wake up,
wake up,
Denver. There's no better place to start your morning.
Order to your table. You're not going to be able to beat it. So join us. We're going to be down Colorado Boulevard, I-25, the IHOP that's right there next Wednesday morning.
That's right. Love to see you. Details at 710knus.com. All right, Billy, it's that Friday time of the morning. We got to give the people what they want.
Yes.
You choose the news loser edition.
Yes. This is not a reference to me. No, we are talking about those stories that Jeff and Blake didn't choose earlier this week. The loser edition of You Choose the News.
You are one pathetic loser.
Loser!
Let's go. Loser! You're a loser!
The Losers Club.
Bunch of losers.
You're such a loser. You made me feel like a loser!
She's a loser.
You are such a loser.
Loser.
Yes, we know how the game is played. America's favorite fake radio news game show, scouring interwebs for mere moments during the week and finding dumb stories about us humans, giving them even more ridiculous headlines so we can play this fake radio news game show. Why in the world would you do this? Because nobody that is in charge of this radio station wakes up until 7. Once we found out that we are left unsupervised, just say that you're lucky Jeff and I show up wearing pants. There may be some things in our past. But here, as always, we bring in Blake Olson from the news department. Here are the returning stories, gentlemen. Headline number 1, robots taking our jobs. Headline number 2, the human touch. Headline number 3, binary solution. And headline number 4, brand consistency. Mr. Hunt, your choice.
Speaking of Cracker Barrel, brand consistency.
Yes, brand consistency. A Cortland man who was featured in a 2022 episode of I Am a Stalker has, not surprisingly, pled guilty to 11 counts of stalking, harassing, and violating an order of protection. Who could have guessed? The man appeared on a Netflix series. 42-year-old John Anderson III was sentenced to 6 years in prison for stalking a DeKalb woman in 2019. The Netflix series included an installment that focuses on that case and his relationship, and I'm using that in air quotes, with this woman, who then fled to Illinois just to get away from his creepiness. He's now charged in a brand new case for harassing the same woman. If only we could have seen this coming. Yes. I'm just saying that if you featured on I Am a Stalker on Netflix, probably going to do the stalky thing later.
You think?
I know. It's like, wow, that's just remarkably brand consistent.
Right.
Same thing and same woman. I'm like, wow. He's figured out his niche.
Speaking of stalking, have you guys been following this Liver King issue? With Joe Rogan?
No.
Dude, this is wild. Do you know about the Liver King on Instagram? You're not on social media.
No.
This guy that claimed to eat only liver and became like huge, but he was actually taking a bunch of
That
steroids.
seems
Well,
wrong.
Joe Rogan called him out, and then
Hey,
lo
good.
and behold, he's now stalking Joe Rogan.
Holy crap.
Oh, yeah, that
wow.
dude is frightening.
Yeah. He's like challenging him
Man.
to a fight. He keeps showing up outside the studio, all that stuff.
Jeez.
Tries to follow him around.
Weird thing is
Yes,
that
I have seen that.
when you mentioned liver, the nerd Billy jumped back to the X-Files and the episode of Edward Toombs. Just saying. Fantastic episode if you guys haven't seen
Episode 243A, debuted on December 5th,
The first
1987.
first one's called Squeeze. Just the episode title. Just saying. And the second one is called Tombs. I know. Yes, I know. Okay. Now, I'm such an idiot. All right, Blake, your choice, sir. Are robots taking our jobs, the human touch, or binary solution?
Robots taking your job.
Yeah, are robots going to be taking our jobs and maybe even our kids? This one's a little spooky. We are finding ourselves in China for this one, and Kiowa Technologies in Guangzhou is leading an initiative to create something out of maybe a dystopian reality. What do you think about pregnancy robots? Yes, machines that would feature synthetic uteruses housed in their abdomens that would then be connected to specialized tubes that function similarly to an umbilical cord, delivering essential nutrients to developing
We made a
fetuses.
whole movie about this. It's called The
Yes.
Matrix.
Yes.
And why do we try to replicate what God's already provided for us? I don't get it.
The reason the people in China are saying they're doing this is because it would be less expensive than traditional surrogacy or other pregnancy alternatives.
Yeah,
They're
don't want to
saying-
interrupt your wine nights
I
either.
know, exactly. They're saying rather than the $200,000 charges for surrogacy, they should be able to make these robots available for somewhere around $15,000. I know.
I don't. Just the Lord take me home.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Jeff,
Amen.
final choice, man. The human touch or binary solution?
The human touch, of course.
Yeah, the human touch. In a small Alberta town, one author is taking a big stand against our computers. They're trying to take over. Her goal is to show that people are not just as capable, but better at writing books. She's taken on a challenge of writing 34 books in 34 weeks at the same time that an AI is doing the same thing for a project.
Wow.
And then she's going to go back and have the books reviewed and say, who did it better? Chances
I
are it's going to
love
be the
that.
human. So, yeah, I think it's going to be cool.
I think the human will win in that one, too.
I do, too.
Same.
Yep. All right.
34 books in 34
Yeah,
weeks?
34 weeks. Yep. Yeah.
Wow,
I
we
know.
got to check in on that one.
Yeah, we will. Watch
Great
that one.
find. Well done, Bill. Thank you for You Choose the News. We got Jeff Crank coming up in the next hour. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader. We are News Talk 710 KNUS.